Greetings to all the Web3 enthusiasts. It's Max speaking, and we continue our series of blockchain innovation with Synopsis. We continue inviting tier one projects of the industry for you guys to know more about them. And today I'm excited to host an interview with Antonio from the Swarm. And let's give the word to our speaker for him to introduce himself. Hello, Antonio. A few words about yourself.
Thank you. Hello there. So my name is Antonio, and I'm working at Swarm Foundation, running essentially operations. And yeah, I've been in the crypto space for a while. I'm always very shy to say how long because people start making calculations. But let's say that I've been long enough.
Perfect. That was pretty brief. And let's get our interview going. As always, I have a list of questions prepared, and looking
Awesome.
forward to know something
Please shoot them.
about Swarm. Okay. Swarm is an OG crypto project that hit the news here and there many times. Many people in the Ethereum community know you because you started within the Ethereum Foundation. Do new users know your history? How is your audience divided between the old users who came from Ethereum and new users who are coming now?
Okay, that's a bunch of questions. So yeah, Swarm is a very old project. It comes from the Ethereum fathers at the very beginning. In actually, the first appearance it was in May in 2014. That's 10 years ago. Presented by Gavin Wood in a meetup, Ethereum meetup. And after that, the DEFCON 0 started, and Daniel Nagy presented the initial technical considerations of Swarm. Later on 2015, Victor Tron and Daniel Nagy formed the starting team coming from the Geth team in Ethereum. And it has been a long road from there. In several iterations of the project, around 30, Victor told me the other day, around 30 iterations of the project, because it's not an easy feature to solve storage, even though it sounds really straightforward, right? Because we are all used to floppy disks or USBs, or it's a no-brainer. Storage has been here forever, but to make it decentralized and as unstoppable or as permissionless as it should be, it's not that easy. So, but that was the initial idea. It started with the World Computer Vision. I'm pretty sure that all the old fellas around in the place would know what I'm talking about. But for the new ones, it's an old concept, but it's a very, very powerful concept. The world computer, an unstoppable machine that process, execute, communicate, and store all the data for everybody. And that was the initial idea of how the community, how the technology should evolve. And it does not, it has kind of shifted in there because if you ask me, the market has pushed the community to search for scalability and then move on to data. There's this modularity trends that I think it's worth pursuing, of course. But it has eroded somehow the cypherpunk values. And Swarm started with these values and keeps on with these values up to today. So you just have to look at Ethereum, at Vitalik's blog post in December, I think it was, when he was calling to make Ethereum cypherpunk again. Well, that's because those values were Swarm started. Swarm, Ethereum, and Whisper were three components for this world computer back in the day. They started with these values, and we need to keep these values on to make something of to differentiate Web3 from other technologies. That's what makes us different. So yeah, that's the beginning. For the new users that you mentioned that come to the Ethereum ecosystem, I just would like to tell them that the Web3 is not, even though we see now crypto as an evolution of finance, which is absolutely great, it was envisioned to be something more, to be the evolution of the internet, to be the evolution of actually, I don't know if you've heard of John Barlow Declaration of Independence of the cyberspace. That's in 1996. So he mentioned sovereign places, the state of the country, the land of the mind, or I don't remember exact words, but they were looking in this direction, and crypto is intended was conceived to walk that path, even though we are a bit in another moment at the moment. But yeah, those are the origins. This is where Swarm comes from, and this is the proposition.
Yeah,
This is it.
so you see, guys, it's a project with a great history and great values, great goals and perspectives, I would say. So thank you for this historical point. And moving next to the question 2, market storage solutions has been growing steadily. How do you stay ahead of competitors? Who is your main competitor? Is it Amazon, S3, IPFS, or Airweave?
That's a great question. Everybody asks us the moment we start pitching, yeah, we are decentralized storage. They say, hey, how do you compare with those? As I said, storage is a complicated solution because it requires a promise. It has a promissory nature. It's not as Ethereum or Bitcoin where the transactions happen and you have to prove that they are happen and they're available, all that stuff. But in storage is different. You have to store and wait for the promise to be fulfilled in an unspecified moment in the future. But I would like to compare. If we are to compare all the solutions, I think it makes more sense to compare ourselves, the crypto space, with the alternative, which is the traditional cloud computing. The people like Amazon, like Google, like Microsoft or Alibaba, those guys host around, I think that the stats that I saw a couple of years ago, they were hosting around 80% of all the data, all the internet, the data of the internet was run by these 4 guys. How do we compare all the storage, decentralized storage solutions against them? We're a drop in the ocean. Well, a bit more maybe than a drop in the ocean, but still, it's not comparable. We're not even close for them to give us any attention. So I think that we must collaborate with all the other solutions, with IPFS, with Arweave, because there are different things that all these solutions provide, right? So not all data is equal. It's not the same to store a GPG of a cat than to store a GPG of my passport. Maybe the size is the same, but it has a complete and radical different properties. So there are solutions to store GPGs of cats, and there are solutions that require more sovereignty, more privacy, and more control of who is accessing and who can access that data. And I believe that there's a room for each and every one of us, depending on the type of data. So in that sense, Swarm is the most permissionless of all those solutions. Let's say we put strength in permissionless publishing, in information neutrality, and in plausible deniability. Those are properties that are looked for, and let's say that are the core proposition of the solution. If you want to compare it with other decentralized solutions, but for instance, there are other solutions that offer permanent or forever storage, which is good, but there are use cases where you wouldn't like to have your words, for instance, stored forever. Do you really want your conversations and social networks to be stored forever? Forever is a big word. So there are use cases, I say, and Swarm is there to fulfill the ones that are more, the guys who are more concerned about privacy and about permissionless publishing.
Perfect. I like the idea of collaboration instead of competition. That sounds like something really profitable for everyone, like a win-win strategy. Okay, and let's move on. So Everyone has accounts with Apple and Google now, but decentralized solutions are not as popular outside the Web3 industry. Are decentralized cloud apps or smartphones viable?
That's a big question. Well, there's a problem with phones. There's a big problem with the operating system of the phones. Actually, I mean, I read, I think today, that Elon Musk is teasing everybody with the idea of creating a phone, an X phone, and people had tried before. Solana did his own thing with the phone, and this is an old problem. Actually, Cory Doctorow, I don't know if you know the guy. He's an activist. He's been very vocal about copyrights, and he has spoken a lot about this. How the devices that we use are gatekept, are gate kept. That, for instance, for computers, for big fat ass desktop computers, we can build our own computer, and it belongs to us, and more or less nobody can see or can control how many computers we create. However, and the phones are locked. The stores belong to players, and they can kick you out. So that's a very, very big problem that I think we are not addressing enough in crypto. How are the users, the mainstream users, going to use all this information? I myself, I had the great luck to work in a Firefox OS. I don't know if you heard about that, but there was a Firefox OS project back in the day in Telefonica. I worked in Telefonica for some years. And it was a great alternative. It was a great proposition to put it in the phones and to be free. Actually, it was amazing. The screen, the front screen, the home screen, it was HTML5. So you can do plenty of stuff with it. You could do plenty of things. It was really, really cool. But it didn't took off. So we are left with these two alternatives, and there's a big problem. The browsers are still capable within the phones, but they're not, they don't offer the best experience. So yeah, it's a problem that would need to be addressed somehow, and I don't have the answer. There are a couple of guys who are doing things in Swarm. There are this project called Deboot, which is the idea that you can plug in any OS in any device, downloading it by Swarm. So you can just plug in a device, a Raspberry Pi, and it downloads the operating system and it boots. And it's kind of magic. I kind of love this idea. It's still very early, but I think this is the right framework, or the right frame of mind that we should have in order to overcome this problem of censorship and ownership that we are giving away through the phones to the big players that I won't mention, but everybody knows.
Well,
yeah,
that was interesting. Let's see how this magic will show itself in the future. Okay, let's move on to the next question, and I would like to know, what are the Swarm's areas of interest besides file storage? Is Swarm fast enough for playing or streaming video?
Actually, there's a bunch of things that can be done by Swarm. First of all, I would like to highlight that Swarm is a layer 1 solution. It's below layer 1. It's a kind of very base, or very base protocol solution. It has to do with the network's topology and how do you distribute the data, how do you create a hard drive. So all the solutions, the value chain and the stack is, not the value chain, the stack is long. So in order to create a solution, there are several places where you should go. But still, there are solutions where that Swarm shines and makes it more, or let's say better. Video, I would say it's the most notable one. The latency that Swarm provides, it's a very, very low compared to other potential decentralized solutions, and then give us a good angle to, for instance, if you want to change to do a time change in the video, it's really, really fast, really automatic. It's below 1 second, and so that's one of the best ones that we can think of. The other one, it's data availability. There is an ongoing effort in Swarm community to provide a data availability solution that can be done can be plugged in different layers, in different layer 2 or even layer 1s, so that it can provide this consensus about the availability of data at a very, very low cost, or a very more cost effective than other solutions, on top of providing the efficiency and the resilience, because the nodes that will store the data are already storing all the types of data. So that's I don't want to go into details of how it goes, how it works, because it's kind of deep, but it's we're very excited about this idea that it's growing in the system, in the ecosystem, about data availability. Also, there's an interesting feature in Swarm called zero entry. And what does it mean, zero entry? Well, the idea that that one of the main blockers for mainstream adoption, it's how do you convince everybody to get crypto, right? And there are on-ramp platforms, and it's hard because the moment you have to give you do have to to pass a KYC, or you need people to build ETH, to buy ETH, or to buy DAI to swap it for any coin. The problems start. You need to go to a centralized exchange. Where do I do it? It's not easy. But the easiest way to get crypto, it's to earn it. So you can earn crypto. We saw that with Axie Infinity, the play to earn, all that play to earn, quote unquote, industry. But Swarm provides a good one with with the zero entry thing, which is how come what would happen if you run a Swarm node in your TV? It's 24 hours connected to the internet. It's already plugged, so it doesn't consume that much. And so it doesn't rely on batteries. And it gives you some tokens. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it can be something. And with that little tokens, you can then swap them for something else. And you are already in crypto. You don't have to, you're providing a service and you're being rewarded for that. And that is, I believe, is one of the biggest and most notable cases for that Swarm can help onboard new people into the ecosystem. And it has to do with deepin, because what you're doing is you are providing an infrastructure service. You're providing storage, which is a no-brainer. Of course, I'm giving away some megabytes, so I am receiving some tokens in return. But you don't need tokens. You don't need anything to do that. You're just relying information, and it kind of technically it works as the Lightning Network. You are relying so you are relying information, and when you have relied enough information, the nodes will start to pay you for that. That's the bandwidth incentives of the network. So the idea that you can put a Swarm node in a TV or in a router, it's kind of powerful, and we believe it's the gateway for the mainstream adoption. It won't happen with the centralized exchanges. Or, well, it can happen, but it shouldn't happen, because when you go through a centralized exchange, all your information is, of course, kept somewhere else. So if you want to remain private, if you want to remain with these cypherpunk values that we were saying at the very beginning, well, you need this you have to earn the cryptocurrency. And this is one of another solutions that we believe are super, super exciting, and we can potentially change things. And what others? Oh, of course, data provenance. When Swarm basically stores data, so you can tackle all the artificial intelligence solutions require data provenance, and they need to know where the data belongs to and how to reward the owners of that data, of those data sets. So Swarm can actually help on that front. This is another set of applications that are being thought of and are being worked on top of Swarm. So, and not to mention, which is like the no-brainer, like sort of the work where the data for NFTs are stored. Does it belong to me or does it belong to someone else? So there are plenty of applications, and this is a potential one, still not been because as you can see, there are plenty of things. But another one that I see there's a lot of potential is decentralized frontend. If Swarm can, there we have seen a lot of problems with the networks and solutions that have their front ends taken down, because at the end you need to store the front end somewhere. Well, Swarm can work as a hosting solution. So if you can host your web, your front end in Swarm, you can decentralize the whole stack. And that could be something really, really game changing as well in terms of applications that are done in crypto. So yeah, there are plenty of stuff besides just storing data, as you can see.
Oh my God, what you are telling is really exciting and sounds like magic. I never really heard about running nodes on TVs. It's a great contribution for the mass adoption and for attracting more people in crypto. Wow, I need to learn more about this technology by myself. So, okay, we have mentioned Elon Musk, who is pretty good at teasing, and the next question is also in that field. So, you recently integrated erasure coding and teased Swarm 2.0. What else do it bring? Is there a release date?
So the Swarm 2.0, it's already out. We are already working on the next iteration. The release date happened in the 4th of May when the community, we did it, but the community decided, or Swarm Foundation did it, but the community decided to turn off the bonding curve that basically turned the tokenomics or the supply of the token into a fixed supply. This milestone is the final milestone of the Swarm 2.0 release that has included, as you mentioned, a couple of features. The first one is erasure coding. It's an amazing feature. It's it's kind of old. I'm old as a beach, and or if it's a forest, as you prefer. And I remember that the first time I heard erasure coding, it was in the compact discs, because it's the technology to listen to music while there are scratches in the surface. Not all ones and zeros come from the CD into the player. So they use erasure coding to avoid those scratches. And putting that technology into decentralized storage, it's really useful, because it gives you the confidence that the data will be there. Just extending it, not duplicating it, but extending it a bit more, it will give you the more confidence that it can be retrieved. And it has incredibly increased the speed and several KPIs that we have for retrieval, for file retrievals. So it's fantastic, this technology that has been recently introduced. Also, another milestone for Swarm 2.0 was the price oracle. In a similar fashion as how difficulty works in Bitcoin, the difficulty that adapts depending on the hash rate of the network. The price oracle adapts the storage price and takes into account the amount of storers, the amount of people who are giving away putting their bandwidth to the service of the network, not the bandwidth and the storage, and the uploaders. And depending on the amount of uploaders and the amount of storage available and bandwidth, this price oracle calculates and provides a fair storage price for the network. So that makes the network self-sufficient, which is the whole purpose of the whole thing. That there is no we in Swarm. That it's a self-sufficient solution or network. So that three milestones: the price oracle, the erasure coding, and finally the shutdown on the bonding curve, and made the solution, the supply fixed, has marked the three milestones for Swarm 2.0. And I cannot disclose what the next iteration will bring, but trust me, it is something that can potentially unite different applications that are going around in different chains. So it's kind of really, really really, we're very excited about the next thing. So Swarm 2.0 happened. It's I don't know if you remember the releases of Ethereum back in the day, the Frontier, Homestead, something like that. You remember those milestones? It's a very, for the old people in the place. So there were 4 milestones back in the day: a Frontier, Homestead, Serenity was the last, Metropolis and Serenity. There were 4. And the first one, Frontier, says something like, "Don't trust the network," because the network was not big enough. When we arrived to Homestead, the network was trustworthy enough. So let's say that Swarm 2.0 marks this milestone where the network is more trustworthy than ever. And that's what I can tell you right now. More to come.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you. So we're moving on to the last question for today. Are there any incentives for developers who came to build on Swarm? What are the upcoming events for developers? So we see that you do care about community. What about exactly developers?
Sure. Yeah, we have a. So I would like to call. We have a bunch of events. I would like to call developers that are not satisfied with the state of the art or what they have been working so far to try Swarm. We have one of the base with the latency. It's one of the best things that we can offer. On top of that, we offer permissionless publishing. That means that nobody will ask you, what are you uploading or downloading? That's very important. We are neutral about the information that you provide. And if you run a node, well, there are architectural differences from other solutions. The nodes do not store files. They store chunks, which are tiny pieces of files. That means that as a node operator, you don't have the whole file. And actually, you can't reconstruct the file even if you wanted to. That gives you an edge with other solutions that require that you store the whole file, and therefore, you know what you are storing. That's a different thing that Swarm provides. That means that for all those developers over there, if you want to build a decentralized Airbnb that cannot be shut down, if you want to build a decentralized eBay that cannot be shut down, Swarm is the appropriate technology to do that. It's not a halfway solution. It's not a quasi-decentralized solution. It's a completely decentralized. We would be a completely decentralized solution to decentralize the whole stack and make Web3 a reality. So while you are building, we are all about fostering our community, or developer community. So we offer various incentives in terms of grants and bounties. And of course, we can offer some technical support for developers who want to build on Swarm. You just have to head to our Discord, where there are some channels that could give you some hints and some highlights of how to do it. In terms of community, if you just want to hear, we usually have participating hackathons, and we create some workshops. And every last Thursday of every month, we have this Swarm community call where you are all welcome to attend. It's free and open in Discord, and we speak about the latest developments in Swarm and the different applications and community talks. You can add the team; it's usually there, so you can ask the team any uncomfortable question or comfortable the question that you would like, and they will be glad to answer. Our next big event, we are running a summit that will happen on the 3rd week of June in the vibrant and crossroads, this vibrant metropolis called Ljubljana in Slovenia. And so if you can attend there in real life, it's in Central Europe. It will be super delighted to have you around. Otherwise, you will be able to join. You can join online, but not for all the talks, just for a bunch of them. So if you want to meet the team and you want to build your own stuff, please, we'll be happy. We'll be happy to come and to meet you there if you want to arrive. But yeah, that's what we do for developers at the moment.
Yeah, that's just awesome. Guys, don't miss a chance to have such an amazing meeting with such amazing people. And I always mention that this openness of the project is very valuable. So you guys do care about community, and you are open for the conversation. I like it. Well, that's it for today. And before I go to explore how to launch a node on my TV, maybe you'd like to say something for our audience, some advices, some teasers, announcements, anything you would like.
I would like to say to the audience, don't settle with just halfway solutions. Go for the whole thing. This is about changing the internet. It's not about changing, creating meme coins. It's good. It's fun to create meme coins, but this is about giving the next iteration of the internet. And we have the chance and the opportunity to create this new iteration. And we should make it count. And the decisions that we are taking right now in terms of architecture will echo. So the properties that we give to the technology that we build will echo and will be used by potentially millions of people. We need to take care we need to decide very careful which solutions do we use to build the fantastic products that are there.
Perfect. Let's go for the whole thing. Thank you very much, Antonio, for joining us today. Looking forward for more news of Swarm, and looking forward for you to join us in more episodes or maybe panel discussions of Synopsis.
With pleasure. Thank you so much, Max, for having me.
So, hi guys. Thanks everyone for watching till the end. See you in the next episodes. Have a great day, a night, whatever is in your region. Bye-bye.